Hey, what is going on, Cowboy Nation? It's not Wednesday night. It's Saturday night. It's 5 p.m. My name is Paul Spencer, and of course, I got the TOP, Matt Klein. What's going on, brother? How we feeling?
Yo, I'm all right. How you doing?
Good, man. Watching this game out here, man. This kind of Saturday's kind of weird to be watching some pro football. We got this crazy overtime game. Minnesota just pulled it out 39-26 after being down 33 nothing, man.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Now, Matt, let me ask you.
Um,
I really didn't want to bring this up, but I got to ask you something after seeing this game here. Okay. We scored 33 points on the Colts. Okay. We just seen Minnesota score 37. Was that just a product of Dallas being so damn good in the fourth quarter, or is the Colts just letting up like crazy where, the JV team down the street could score on this team? What do you see real quick? I wasn't going to bring that up, but after seeing this game, it kind of made me think about something, Matt.
I think the Cowboys are that good in the fourth quarter, which could hurt
Mhm.
them.
Right.
In the long run, it could hurt them.
Yeah.
But I think Indianapolis is a good team all the way around. I mean, JT getting
Agree.
hurt today's didn't help
Yes.
them at
Hmm.
all.
Yep.
But they didn't need him at all, being up 33-0 on Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but Minnesota has a lot of weapons to. I mean, you had
They
Jefferson
do.
that went off. Um,
Yes. Yes.
They
You got that
got
young kid
Osborne.
Osborne just went off. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like the second wide receiver nobody knows about, and he had 140 today. Then
Yeah,
then Thielen, I think he had one catch, one TD.
right.
Think about it. Then you had Hawkinson, you got Dalvin Cook out there, and it's like the weapons are there. But just like you said, with JT getting out, the first series, you still go up 33 points. But just like Joe Sullivan says, you can check out Joe every Wednesday night with us on the College Football Frenzy as well on Monday nights Sully Squad on ELP and Devereaux Sports. He says was an epic choke job. I agree with that too. You have 33
Yeah,
points, and it's like the how in the hell. All you got to do is manage the damn game. Manage the game. Be vanilla. Be vanilla. All you got to do. But that was an
right.
epic choke right there. But Matt, listen, man. Talk about escaping here. I mean, let's talk about this. Going into this game, you play a 110-1 team, Matt. 110-1, not 10-1-1, 110-1, Matt.
Seemed like they were 10-1-1.
You know what, Matt? Yeah, and a win is a win. I get that. That W looks pretty good in the win column. Prove me wrong. We're almost there. But Matt, I don't even want to call this. I do want to call it a win, but Matt, I want to put an asterisk and say this was an escape, not a win.
No,
You know,
you're completely right.
you know,
Absolutely.
I just don't get it. As before we were talking about this, Matt, and I said, look at the Cowboys' last two games. We played the Colts, 33 points in the fourth quarter. Okay, Texans. We went up in the first drive, scored 7, looked pretty damn good. Then we got a field goal, not so good. Then for the second, third, and I want to say 90% of the fourth quarter, Matt, we didn't even play ball. Last
No,
4 minutes, we played. Think about this. The last two games, Matt, we've really not even put one quarter of football together. True football.
not good.
I just don't get it, Matt. Coming up with this game, we'll get into the Jags game, but we call this a get right game, Matt. A get right game before your season. Your season. I don't want to call it finale, of course, but this game is a make and break a game. You want to get that season split with the Eagles, get momentum going into the playoffs. Because damn well they're going to be playing.
Right.
They're going to be playing. So we got a lot to get right, Matt. But what did you see with this Texans game, real quick?
Uh, I've seen a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
Seemed like nobody wanted to be there.
agree,
Um,
agree.
and one thing I've realized, and it's not an excuse whatsoever. Um, and I should have realized this on our last show when we were predicting scores that no matter how terrible the Texans are, which they've had pretty bad seasons,
Hmm.
they've always played the Cowboys tough.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. They have. And
That being said, they overlooked them, especially if
yeah,
they were 110-1 this year coming into this game, and they were like they realized like, oh shit, Texans actually came to play.
exactly right.
So I mean, they Texans always play Cowboys tough.
Hmm.
Um, it's no excuse though. We need to clean shit up. We have to
Yeah.
clean up our penalties. We have to clean up the holdings, and
Hmm.
um,
Agreed.
we got to start blocking a lot better.
Hmm.
Defense needs to stop giving up these damn big ass runs.
Yeah.
because
I mean,
we've been exposed, and now every
mhm,
team's game planning around the run game. Um, so and
yeah.
our secondary did terrible. Here we are talking about the main man, number one,
Mhm.
Josephs. He's terrible. He is
Oh
terrible.
man, Matt, I don't even want to talk about his character. Like we say every week, we'll get into some of the comments real quick, but we talked about Anthony Toast Brown. How bad he
Hmm.
was, Matt. But man, let me tell you something. I miss my toast right now, Matt. I really
Yeah,
do. I really do miss toast right now because Kelvin Joseph. I don't know if there's a worse name that we can give him. We got to come up with a name for this dude because Matt, I've never seen anyone play the ball the way he does. Number one, he doesn't turn around. He
no,
he
never.
jumps on everything. He bites on everything. And when it's man on man, one move, inside outside, he is nowhere to be found. It's like he's on an island and he's the only one on his island with nobody there. He's not covering
Right.
anybody, man. It's
Yeah,
that bad. It's that
yeah.
bad. You know.
It's terrible.
Yeah. A couple comments real quick. Got Joe Sullivan checking in again. He says, "What do you guys think of Cousins? People act like he sucks. Minnesota has close wins this year. He obviously doesn't suck. No, you know what? A lot of people call that prime time. Kirk Cousins. I don't look into that stuff because hey, listen, he did what he had to do today, man. He had the worst
Right.
first half ever in his pretty much career, and then the second half, man, everything he was lights on. And that one pick. I don't know if you've seen it, Matt. In the fourth quarter, he threw a ball to Jalen Rager and Jalen Rager gave up on the ball. I mean, it was a deep touchdown. Any wide receiver would have caught this. He threw it to the sidelines, and Rager gave up the play, stopped his route, and it was a pick. But coming from that, it was a pick, still down 7 points. They came back, got the ball, and Cousins did what he had to do. So, I mean, it's called coming up clutch to me, But what do you think
Yeah,
about
good players are going to find a way to overcome
that?
the shit that goes on in a game, and players are going to find ways to win. Good teams are
Exactly.
going to find ways to win, regardless of how terrible they've played all game, or if they only played one quarter or 5 minutes and end up pulling out a W. Um,
Exactly. Agree.
Cousins is Cousins. He's his stats have always been crazy good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just sometimes he chokes, not at
Exactly.
the right times. You know what I mean?
I mean, you look at it, 11-3, man. You can't call that a QB that sucks. Honestly, you
No.
really can't. I mean, regardless of the weapons he has, that's just like saying, well, Jalen Hurts has all these weapons. Well, he's 11-3, but he's not that damn good. Well, you're 11-3 for a damn reason.
Right.
Vice versa with the Eagles, of course. But that brings up a point. Joe Sullivan, Dak came up clutch for you guys. Yeah, you're damn right. I mean, he did. He definitely did. But
Yep.
I want to see a 4-quarter game, man. I want to see a 4-quarter game, man, where we put that beginning, that first kickoff, all the way to the last kick, to the fat lady sing out there. That's what I want to see. And I want to see all three phases of the ball. Our
Yeah.
defense is playing well. Of course, we always see that. But I want to see where that offense put together a 60-minute game. I got to see it, man, because right now, you know, we'll
We
look at
haven't seen it in weeks.
exactly. Just like I said, Matt. I mean, you just figure out at 8 quarters, regardless of the fourth quarter against the Colts, it was an ass beating in the fourth quarter. But 15 minutes plus maybe I want to say maybe a 6-minute total time versus the Texans, you're barely playing. Not even, Matt. Not even what 20% of your last two games at a level that the Cowboys should be playing. Honestly, you think
Right.
about that. It's bad. But Joe says I did take the points on that game right before the game. After we talked about it, and I said, you know what, I think it's going to be a close game. Just like you said, Matt. Division, you got to throw that out. And Joe says the same thing because we used to play them in preseason all the time, Matt. Every year it's a preseason
Right.
game with us. And even though it's preseason, man, they played it like it was the Texas Bowl. You
Yeah.
think about it. But you know what? I can hear Joe Sullivan came up with a good one here. Joe says if the Tom Hanks from Castaway on the Island.
Perfect. Well said.
Well said, exactly. Yes, I think we're gonna have to start putting that on Twitter out there. Calling Kelvin Joseph the Tom Hanks, on Castaway Island. That's a good one, Joe. Thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate that one, definitely.
That's funny.
Joe says you can't play Jacksonville. Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll get into that as well.
Mhm.
But you think about Jacksonville has a lot more weapons than the Texans have.
I mean, the
You
only
know,
reason I'm not thought we were going to lose this game just the way how we played the entire game,
hmm
but I'm not worried.
No, no.
Only because of the Texas battle.
hmm
Reason. But now, if we come out and Jacksonville's a good team,
Yeah,
Don't get it twisted. Travis Lawrence he's ready to throw.
yeah, yeah.
They're ready to run all over the Cowboys. They got something to prove still.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't want to beat the Dallas Cowboys? Every team in the NFL always wants to beat the Dallas Cowboys.
And you know
You
what,
want to
Mike?
beat that Americans team.
Exactly. And you know what? If you think about it too, there's a little more initiative out there too because Peterson, he knows the Cowboys. He knows tendencies. Even though it's a new coaching
Yep.
staff, he knows tendencies, and that
Yep.
goes a long way. You played him before. You know tendencies. You throw out records, but there's always that tendency. Well, I know he does this. I know they do this. Well, you know, Jason Peters, I know, especially him. What is he
Yeah.
good at? Is he good at down blocks? Is he good at this? Is he good at that? Well, let's throw the kitchen sink on what he's not good at. And you think about it. But going back to this Texan game, Matt, I'm a little scared with this. I don't want to look ahead to the Eagles, but even Trevor Lawrence, let's use his out there. My thing is, you've seen Jake Driscoll, run the ball on the Cowboys 30 some yards on 6 carries. Okay.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence is faster. He's more mobile. This to me is like, how the hell can Driscoll run on the Cowboys offense with this stout defensive line that you have? Is it the defensive ends not staying home, Matt? What is it? What do you see? Because I seen Lawrence be so undisciplined on a lot of plays last week where he wasn't maintaining in the gaps. He would come in and crash. He would crash. And those sweeps were outside.
Yep.
Pierce was getting outside the tackle. Driscoll was going outside on one-on-ones. And after Lawrence would come in, he wouldn't contain, and it was just a blow by. Is this discipline on the defense? What do you say?
I mean, it always comes down to discipline. It's also probably assuming where they're going and they're guessing too much instead of actually playing the position and doing your contain on the outsides and making them cut back in on the inside. And it's them overdoing it and overcompensating for it and that's on the outside a lot.
Yeah. Dameon Pierce had 22 carries, 78 yards. And even it was 7 carries for Driscoll, 36 yards. I just don't get it. But, going back to that game, Matt, that 4th down play where Driscoll, the Texans gave us the game, man. They gave us the game.
Absolutely.
That last play, I don't know if he's, I don't want to call it QB.
2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't want to call it a quarterback an idiot, but my man totally ran the wrong way.
Yeah.
The back went right, he went left, and then the announcer saying maybe it was a step back cut bootleg. You ain't stepping back on that and then reverse cutting and going to the right. That was a speed option. Speed option. Either he's going to flip it or keep it. That's what they were looking at. He ran the wrong way, but I'm not going to knock Dak. I'm not going to knock this offense. 3 minutes to go.
They still went 98 yards.
Exactly. Yep. And you did what you did.
Down the yard. Yeah, they had to travel down the field 98 yards in less than around 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They still had to do their 2-minute drill.
Exactly. And he threw some dimes out there. That dime to Noah Brown on the sideline, right in the window where only Brown could catch it. He dove for it, got it. I'm not going to take anything away from him. It was a pass. It was a pass run option. It was there. We took what they gave us, took the shots downfield. Schultz came up big. And it was just something that I really like to see. But I'm still waiting, Matt, for a 4-quarter, unanimous game from them. I haven't seen it, Matt. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all.
Yeah, last time we seen it was against Minnesota.
Exactly.
40-3.
That was a 4-quarter game where you're like,
that's
okay,
the type of team we can be, but it's always trying to, well, we're good, so we can. We're gonna run over this team, so it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You can't go off of that. Every team, and we all know the same. Any given Sunday, you can get beat by any team in this league.
Exactly, and exactly. It's like you said, Matt. Any given Sunday, no matter what records are, man. Look at the record: 1-10-11. They had you for 56 minutes of the game. 56 minutes of the game, they were basically leading. But do you think, Matt, this is just playing down to our competition? That's what it seems to me. That's what it seems to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would put it any other way. It's literally them just playing down to their competition instead of just coming out, doing what they do best, and just destroying on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just you go. We both coach, Matt. You go there and you're like, okay, well, this game here, well, they're 1-7, and we're 7-0. Man, you know what? Let's just run some different things out. Let's work on next week. Now, to me, I'm putting the pedal to the metal, getting up quick, and then I learn a little bit. I don't take nothing for granted out there. regardless of
Right.
records. But I just don't know, man. I mean, Joe also says, excuse me, Jags have an outside chance for the South, right? And Tennessee is just like you said. Tennessee is struggling as well. So they have a lot to play for. They're still in consideration for the playoffs, of course, in the AFC South. He also says, have you guys noticed teams using Parsons aggressive nature against him? It seems like a little frustrated. Have you noticed teams using Parsons aggressive nature? Yeah, and that's one thing I wanted to, that's like, to me, like with Lawrence as well. Just like you said, Matt, he's not containing his gap. He's blowing by, the left tackle or the right tackle, wherever they line him up at, and he's not playing mental football, fundamental football, I want to say. He's blowing up the gap, trying to get to the QP, and not containing his outside. And I think Parsons is using that too. A lot of times I see them letting Parsons, get off the block first and then taking the ball the other way, or running Pierce the opposite way away from him, making Parsons be a little bit more aggressive as well. Take him out, bring him in the game, but taking him out of the play, Matt. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you run away from Parsons? I mean, the man's an animal. He's very athletic and strong, and he can read any play out there.
Right.
Game plan around him,
Mm-hmm.
where he's at. You're audible in your plays away from him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or he's coming on the inside, so hey, let's run a little outside screen.
Mm-hmm. And I was telling my buddy too. I was like, a lot of these teams are waiting for just the Parsons lining up at linebacker, which I don't understand why we're doing it. I don't understand why we're doing that, Matt. I mean, a lot of people look. We've heard a lot of people say when he played the Eagles, they took him out of the game. Well, a lot of those plays where he lined up at linebacker as well. You're going to take him
4 or 5 yards.
Exactly. You have him over the ball. I mean, look at the guy's moves. He has a bull rush. He has a spin move, a twist, a stunt. Playing at an end, he's nasty, and that's where a majority, 90% of his sacks came from. To me, if you play linebacker, just like you said, you're starting 4 yards off the ball. You're playing deep in the secondary zone basically, and then you got to rely on stunts and twists against a good O line. And a lot of times you get that because you're still playing 4-on-5, and then you got to find the hole. And a smart quarterback, a smart offense, is not going to give you that time, Matt.
Right. No, not at all.
Exactly. Joe also says Texans messed up that last drive with the first play on the half-yard line. Dallas blew it up. That's when Lawrence did. He did. That goes with what we're saying, Matt. I don't want to say, well, he made a hell of a play. I'll put it that way. Of course, tackle for loss, but it's something he did all game, Matt. He finally was in the right place at the right time. He blew up the right hole, but 80% of the other time, he blew up the hole, but the ball avoided him. The player avoided him. It was being in the right place at the right time for that. But I don't know, man. It was a huge escape, but a win is a win, man. But listen, we got a lot to work on, Matt. A lot to work on.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to make a deep run in the playoffs, we have a lot of work to do. We're way, way behind where we need to be.
Ken wants to highlight. Ken, what highlight you want to see? Oh, wait a minute. A win is a win. Exactly. A win is a win. We understand that,
Yeah, but we got to look at deeper into the win.
Yeah,
I mean, a win's a win. We excuse with one, but the ins and outs of it are terrible.
Yeah. I mean, you're going into
the lucky that we have an offense that we can exploit like that and overcome our mistakes, but it's embarrassing. We need to fix this shit before we actually start getting to the Eagles. We still got Tennessee to play, which is they're fighting for a division. And our division is tight. We still got another divisional game.
Yeah, last game, and I don't want to come down to that, Matt. I don't want to come down to that one.
I don't know. You never want to come down to a divisional game, especially when they're fighting for a playoff spot. I mean, yeah, we might clinch by then, but guess what? They're still fighting for a spot. They're still going to go out there and want to whoop our ass.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Yep. Joe says, great show, fellas. I got to bounce. Can't wait till next week. The rival was back. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I appreciate that. We're all going to get together next week, have a little, kumbaya out there, So definitely, Joe, thanks for tuning in, brother. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, a win is a win, Ken said. But Matt, we're in the back half of the season, man, where it all counts right here. Put records aside. Yeah, you're 10 wins. The Eagles are 12. But listen, here's the thing. You got to maintain your consistency for the back half of the season. You can't, spirally go backwards, man. We played 10 wins. We look good. But think about it, Matt. We could be neck and neck with the Eagles with the bullshit, dumb plays that we had, penalties, and lackluster not showing up for a whole game, Matt. Just like you said, the only game we've ever showed up was the Viking game. First drive, last drive. Even when the Vikings were trying to get charity points, that defense said, nope, ain't going to happen. We're shutting you down.
Right.
But we don't see that. We don't see that, especially on the offense, Matt. We don't see that where it's consistent. No. And with this high-powered offense, I don't
know if you've realized, but last game our offense started off sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Ran down the field on them like, oh yeah, we got this.
Mm-hmm.
But then defense comes out slow.
I did notice that.
Type
Yeah,
of game.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
And then that's what sets the tone for the rest of the game.
Exactly.
That's on our first drive on offense and defense. If our offense comes out first,
mm-hmm.
we go down there, run it down their throats, we score, and our defense comes out, has a stop on the
mm-hmm.
first drive. That's our tone for the day. That's a game we won.
Yeah.
Last week our offense came out sharp. Our defense didn't show up.
Right. Texans put up 7 on their first drive.
And then they end up. It was actually. Defense did show up.
Mm-hmm.
Our special teams didn't show up. It was Turpin with the fumble.
You're right. You put him in position. You put him in position. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's a huge.
Yeah.
Taker. He recovered the ball on 20, and they put it in for a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that set the tone for the entire game. What I'm trying to get to is we both have solid starts from the offense and defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great game. One or the other starts off slow,
mm-hmm.
struggling. We're in for it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, you look at what we always call 3 phases of the game. Your offense sets the tone on defense. You go out there, you get a 7 quick score. To me, I always say when my offense scores, we're going right down our little sideline here, and we're hitting everybody on the defense saying, now it's your turn, now it's your turn. And we do that after every play because if you guys stop them, you know what? You put us in a position, now it's your turn. Dallas did this a couple years ago where even they do it this year, but what I like to see is it's a friendly camaraderie between the offense and defense. Who scores more? A takeaway, 7 points, for the defense, even though you don't score. I like to see that because that's the way they should play. That's the way they should play. Like, okay, our defense put you in a position. Now go score. Oh, I'm sorry, we gave up that. We gave up that 3. Get us 7. Vice versa. We didn't score. Get the ball back. I guarantee you we'll score. But we have to have 3 phases of Cowboy football, man. We have to have it. I know special teams is hard because a lot of teams avoid Turpin on the kickoff. But last week was a fluke. He did drop the ball. I understand that. One time all season, I can get away with that. I can disregard that one time. But still, you got to think about having, just like you said, offense flowing, defense flowing, set the tone right away, maintain it for 4 quarters. Not, first drive, that's it. Then all of a sudden it's just lackluster the rest of 3 quarters. I just can't have it. Mm-hmm. Joey Woods checks in. He says, "Go Birds." Yeah, we got you. You guys are in first place. Whatever. Yep, we got you. But Matt, let's move to another subject here. Now, there was a signing here. I actually like this signing. He's well rested. And the thing is, a lot of people told me, of course they're not Cowboys fans, Matt. But, their thing is, hey, he's washed up. He hasn't played in the league for a while. Well, you know what? Is when he was playing with a quarterback like Andrew Luck, he was all pro. Every year he played first team all NFL. After that, after Luck retired, just out of the blue, he was on a downfall. So here, you know what? He was the number 1 option. It was TY Hilton, Colts TY Hilton. That's all you thought about. Here, it's TY Hilton plays for the Cowboys. Oh, he really doesn't have to do much. He's a piece of the puzzle, man. A piece of the puzzle. Think about it. Lamb, Gallup, Noah Brown, and even Washington is in front of him. Yep. Then you have TY as your 5th receiver. I'll take that all day, man. I'll take it all day.
Yeah. I mean, and you're also, when it gets to a point, if Dak throws to him, you still have all those weapons. TY could eventually have one tied up that leads another one. They're not going to be able to double team.
No.
Better stay honest going against T.Y. Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's just, they're going to talk their shit because he's on the Cowboys. But I love the signing.
I do too.
You don't think the Cowboys worked him out to see if he still had it? before they signed him.
And you know what, Matt? That goes with our. We're not even going to touch on OBJ. We're not even going to touch on that shit. I'm done
No,
with it. I'm done with that. But you bring up a great point, Matt. Common sense. You know they work Ty Hilton out. You know they work him out
right,
because okay. Here's the deal. You have OBJ. You have Ty Hilton. Okay, yeah, I give OBJ the advantage. Speed wise, playing routes. I give him the advantage. Well, here's the deal. You worked out with us. We didn't want you, brother. You're not ready yet. Ty Hilton, he worked out. Damn, he's ready to play because he's
right.
suiting up possibly this week, and he's definitely going to play versus the Eagles. That tells
Yeah,
me something right there. Like, hey,
yeah,
whatever.
and we're prepping our team for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So having another weapon like Ty Hilton going into playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
plus for us.
Exactly.
Do we sign OBJ? We hear rumors that Jerry
Right.
Jones is going to
Right.
sign him.
Mm-hmm.
If he does, if he doesn't, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just if he
I like
signs him, he
Ty
signs him.
Hilton.
Yeah.
I think it was a great sign going into the playoffs.
I agree 100%. And it's somebody that's going to give you a player that could play this week, next week, and through the playoffs. With OBJ,
Yep.
what do you get? I don't know if he's ready yet. I don't know. I'm not ready yet, coach. I'm
Yeah,
not ready yet.
questionable on
Exactly.
injury report every week.
Exactly. It's how can you game plan for that? But I was reading on Twitter today with the Cowboys reporters out there. Now they're saying like Gallup is an outside receiver, Lamb is inside and outside. What they want to do is they want to move Lamb inside exclusively when Ty Hilton is ready because Ty can play slot and wide out, and
Right.
he can still run some routes. So I love that signing because James Washington, if you think about it, Noah Brown's really a slot receiver. Ty is a both receiver where he can play inside and out. Think about that. You put Gallup on the outside, you move Ty on the outside as true wideouts, and then you put Lamb in the middle in the slot where he's more active.
Yeah.
You've seen what he can do on cuts, Matt. You've seen what he
Yep.
can do off ball. And to me, that's his natural position because at Oklahoma, he played that slot receiver
Right.
more. And this is his true position. Then you bring on the outside, you can bring a Noah Brown, you can bring a Washington in, you bring a Schultz in, then you still got your dragon in the backfield, regardless of whoever it is, Pollard or Zeke. To me, that offense, it could be spectacular. And I just like you said, Matt, we both said I love this move. I really love this move. I do.
Yeah, I think it's gonna help us in the long run.
I agree. I think it is. I mean, he's healthy, and regardless, he hasn't played in a year. Basically, he's been, not he's injured, but Matt, I think there was a little bit more to that too. He didn't want to play with a bullshit team. Honestly,
Yeah.
that it could go both ways, but that's just the way I look at it. Because when he had luck, man, he was nasty. He was fierce.
Yeah.
You know,
I've always picked up Ty Hilton on
yeah,
fantasy
exactly.
teams.
Yeah, he's always a good possession receiver. He's going
Yeah.
to get you. He can high point balls. He can take it.
Yeah, I would say he's a red zone threat too.
Exactly. Yeah, and
So we have all of our receivers are red zone threats.
yeah, and then you got the
CeeDee
tight
Lamb,
ends.
Ty
Yeah,
Hilton. Yeah, then that's what I was just getting ready to say.
yeah.
You have Gallup, then you have Schultz, you have Ferguson,
Yeah, you got Hendershot out there.
Headshot.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
there's
we're
a lot of weapons on that outside.
And you know what? I'm glad we have that now because we Cowboy fans, we look at every year, we look at past years. You think about the past years and you look at our red zone threat, there was really only one name, Des Bryant.
Yep.
And how many times can Romo look at his way? How many times do we see it, Matt? It's 4th and goal, whatever. Romo drops 3 yards and it's a quick sideline, corner route right to Des on the sidelines. You can't do that. Now you got Hendershot, Ferguson, Schultz, Lamb,
Yep.
Gallup.
You have options.
You have so many options, man. And then you got Zeke. If you want to go wide, they put 5 in the box. You play man on man against Zeke. Whatever you want to do. But we just got to play smart fundamental football going in, man.
Right.
Yep. Joey says real quick, how about that game today? Yeah, Joey, we talked about that game a little bit earlier. That game was insane. Matt Ryan holds the 2 biggest choke jobs in history. Well, yeah, you're right. The Super Bowl in this one today, but I put this a lot on coaching as well, Matt. You're up 33 points, man. Your game plan has to change a little bit. I understand Minnesota's defense stepped the hell up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's coaching, but at the same time, you can audible any play.
True. Very true. Very true. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to go like 3-1, please, and then punt it away. But
right.
I mean, yeah,
very true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Quarterback, he should be able to pinpoint of the strengths and weaknesses on the defense by now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, let's get into something here, man. I mean, I want to hear. Excuse me, I apologize. I still got the flu a little bit. I want to get in this here. Finally, all decade, all world, all universe, Mister, knee brace on his arms. Tyron Smith is coming back, but he's not playing his natural position, Matt. He's moving over to an island where he's never played in his life, Matt. Left tackle to right tackle. What do you think? Because we're going to get Tyler Smith at left tackle, Jason Peters at left guard, and we're moving Tyron Smith to right tackle. What do you think?
It is Peters is. Oh no, that's Zach Martin's side. So Peters would play left side.
Peters is going right next to Tyler Smith on the left side. But listen, Matt,
I like it.
Here's my thing. I'll say something to you real quick. I love the name you just mentioned. Hold that name for Zach Martin. Hold that name for a second. Left side, Tyler Smith. Next to him, Jason Peters. Okay, you got Baez in the middle, holding his own. Let's go to that left side. All decade, Zach fucking Martin. Next to him, all world, all universe, Tyron Smith. Where do you want to go, right or left? You know what I mean?
Either way, let's go.
I just hope he can.
I mean, I actually respect on both sides. I think I respect Tyron Smith for allowing to move him to the right side because I think he has a lot of respect for Tyler Smith.
He does.
He's been playing a hell of a year so far, and I think as a rookie trying to learn one side to another is difficult. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's difficult for Tyron Smith because he's played left tackle his whole career, but well, not his whole career because he's played back in the day, I think, right tackle also. But I mean, going in the NFL, it's two different atmospheres. Sure. College to NFL. I have a lot of respect for him just trying it out, but I did see reports that Tyron Smith was messing people up in practice.
Yeah, I was going to say that there was a video out there where he lined up. And it was against, not 7-on-7. It was 11-on-11. Of course, Dak has the red jersey on, of course, no hits. But there was one where he had Anthony Barr lined up on the end, and it was a basic, like a little wham run. No fullback, just a basic ISO wham right up the middle, right on that 7 hole on outside. And he laid out Anthony Barr. I mean, not laying him out, Matt. It was like the Jordan Davis ice skate thing, where he took him off the ball 7 yards and he pushed him, and then he was still running outside as Pollard was still trying to make the break.
Whew.
That's the thing. That's what we see Tyron Smith playing on the left side. But if he can do that on the right side, that gives you a whole different balance of this ball, Matt. You can overload that left. Well, we know Dak, how many times he audibles out that kill shit. We love when he does it. This is the time to do it. You see overload left, kill, flip it, boom, right side. There you go. Pick your poison, right or left, because this way you got a game plan. You might have a great front four, but if you don't have solid 3 linebackers to maintain gaps, you got to be disciplined when you play this team with an offensive line like that. You really do. Yep. I love this move. If he can do it, man, I'm all for it. But the other thing, Matt, is we got to say that one word: healthy. He's got to stay healthy, man.
Yep.
That's been his downfall. That's been his downfall for his entire, pretty much, not the first 4 years, but after, 5th to 8th year, it's been all injuries, man,
Yeah, he's getting up there in age. I mean, he's been playing a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, if he can stay healthy, it's all positive. I love it. And I read a thing with Tyler Smith as well. He gave a lot of credit to 2 people. Number one, he gave so much credit to Tyron Smith for showing him the ropes to move the left tackle. What better way to learn from somebody? And then the other guy, Jason Peters. You learn from 2 of the best left tackles in all of football, back to back. And now you played next to one. Now you're playing against Peters. And that goes a long way because he's learning from him. He's learning how to use, extend his arm, play down on a guy coming in on wide. He's learning from the best. So I give credit to, number one, I give credit to Tyron Smith, man, because losing your job to a rookie, and then, hey, it's okay, man. I'm going to move to right tackle because I want to win. So right. I'm cool with it, man. I'm definitely cool with it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Especially if it works. If it works, then
exactly,
could benefit us.
Yeah, and I give credit to Terrence Steele, man. I hope he gets better. We got to re-sign him from what he did this year. I mean, we talked, the weakest link on the line, Matt. But man, whew, I give the boy credit. Terrence Steele was
He held his own this year.
Definitely did. Yep. Well, Matt, let's look ahead, man. I don't want to, go too much into the game here, but let's look ahead to the Jags. We struggled the last 2 weeks, basically, pretty much except for the fourth quarter against the Colts. You really can't really name anybody on the Texans offense, that put it to us a little bit, held their own against us. But you look at this Jags team. Trevor Lawrence can get out of the pocket, of course. We already know that. We know what he can do. Sunshine can lay the ball out there. Well, let's talk about their wide receivers: Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, and of course you got Christian Kirk. Then you got in the backfield, you got Travis Etienne. I mean, they're stacked. They're stacked, Matt. They're stacked.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and they're playing good football right now. So
yeah.
This is the time to start getting hot. They're still fighting for a position or for a spot in the playoffs, the division.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So they're not, and they're home.
Yeah.
It would be better to beat the Dallas Cowboys at home.
Exactly, and just like I said earlier, you got that Peterson. That trade of Peterson. He knows the Eagles. Not. It's a year to year. Of course, we know that being out of the league a couple of years, but you think about tendencies. You know what this person can do. You know what that person does. Tendencies of each team, and just like you said, what better way? They're playing good ball. They still got a shot at the AFC South. They're not out of it. They've been playing good. They're coming off a couple wins here, but I'm not going to look ahead of it. I think it's going to actually be a close game. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I don't know what the spread is this week.
I think it's like 7 points. I think it's 7 points, man. Which I think is a little bit too high. I think it's too high.
I think that's high too.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3, maybe 4.5 max.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should be the spread. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope that's
right.
It should be. I mean, let's face the facts that it should be a spread of that much.
Exactly.
Cowboys
right.
have been playing. I don't see us, blowing this team out.
Mm-hmm. Agree. I'm looking for the line here. The line is actually, where the hell is it? Okay, the line is 4 now, Matt.
4. All right, That's more like it.
Yeah, it's -4 and over 48 points. I like the over. I think it's going to be like a 27-21, 27-23 game, which, I just gave my final prediction, but I think it's going to be a lot closer. I don't think it'd be a 7-10 point game. I don't.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah,
I think it happening.
I think it's going to be
Prove me wrong.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a maintained game throughout, first 4 quarters, well, all 4 quarters. And I think it could possibly who has the ball last in the fourth quarter and who doesn't make that fundamental mistake, honestly,
Yeah.
But I just want to see our defense. Here's the me thing, Matt, is Kelvin Jones. You got 3 wide receivers, man. You got 3 wide receivers. And their wide receivers don't stay in one place. They move right to left. All 3 of them playing a slot. You got Zay playing outside. You got Christian Kirk playing in a slot. You never know who's in a slot. And to me, when Doug Peterson's a smart ass coach.
Yeah.
If you see you're beating, Mr. Kelvin Joseph out there with Christian Kirk, okay, well, Christian Kirk's a deep ball guy who can run routes. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put Zay out there on this time. Zay's a little bit different. Let him consistently bite that move. I'm gonna give you a different wide receiver. Bite on this move that you haven't seen. And that's what scares me, Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, it's very scary seeing him out there. I mean, when you see a quarterback take his 5 step, get ready to launch a ball.
Yeah, exactly. I think we seen that last week on the one ball where he was playing man to man, and it was just one move, a first move out, in, and then Kelvin Joseph bit. He just went right down the sideline, got like a 25-yard pass right over him. And the crazy thing is, okay, you get beat on the ball. Well, the thing is, if you're getting beat on the ball, put your hand here as you're running. Right here, your left hand outside line of scrimmage or like sideline ball. You always put that hand up. You turn looking for the ball. Because what he does, there's no hand movement. All he does is just cover the guy. And that's all. That's defensive PI because you're not covering the ball. You're not playing the ball. Throw it every time on this guy. I just don't get it. He's the weakest link. But I don't know. They better work on some shit this week. They really better.
Yeah, I mean, and the Cowboys signed a cornerback from the Raiders or something like that.
Yeah.
The practice squad.
Tavon Mullins. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Jacob better wake the hell up because I see him losing his position, which every right You know what I mean? They
Mhm.
should his ass should be sitting on the bench.
Right, and then you got Damon Clark, you got Deron
Yeah,
Bland in the back, and you got listen. These rookies are playing ball, man. These rookies are
yeah,
playing.
they're playing
That's
for
me
a contract.
exactly. If that's me, like, hey, Joseph, we got you in the second round last year, so here's the deal. It's time to play some ball because these rookies are hungry, man. These rookies are hungry, and they've already proved what they can do. So your
Yep.
ass might be on the sideline here. Plus we just brought in Trayvon Mullins. He got cut. Oh well, he's looking for a contract. His family has to eat too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's gonna ball out. So what better way to make a statement when you got a bad corner in Kelvin Joseph and someone went out just to get you? Well, now's your time to shine, brother. And I hope he does shine because I can't stand Kelvin Joseph. Can't
Right.
stand him. Can't stand him, man.
I mean, you would think from the Cowboys aspect of like seeing him play the past couple weeks after
Mhm.
Burnt Toast Brown went down, um, like pulling him in the office, like, dude, you need to step it the hell up.
Yeah. Mhm. And the other thing is, man, I can't imagine these defensive players not saying anything to him. Honestly,
Right. Parsons is
you know,
doesn't bite his tongue. We
no,
all know that this
right?
week.
Which we'll talk about next. Exactly right.
Right. But and you have a lot of players. Diggs doesn't, keep his mouth shut.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of players they're going to let you know when you're messing up.
Exactly. I
Which
mean, this team.
everybody needs to be held each other accountable for their
Exactly.
errors.
And I love that word accountability. Just like you said, Parsons. We know he has a motor, he has a mouth, but he backs it up. And you look at this team. It's not an individual. It's a team. I want to say it's a team philosophy of how you treat other players on the team. Next man up, we understand that. But Dan Quinn's thing is 11 men to the ball, you know, and if 10 men are getting to the ball and one dude's lacking his ass off on the sideline over here, not to be found, I'm going to get in his ass, man. I'm going to get in his ass and say, like, look, we play 11 on 11 ball here. If you want to be, bullshit on the sideline, just going through the motions, bro, next man up, next man up. We don't need you. But yeah,
Right.
I just don't get it. But speaking of words out there, yeah, one of our players, kind of said something out there on the what was his name? I forgot what the hell the show was. Honestly, the Von Miller show, I believe it was correct.
Yeah. Something like
Yeah,
that.
he said something
Oh yeah,
about
it was Von Miller. His
Von
show.
Miller's, yeah,
His
Von something, yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Now he did say some the comments. I'm just gonna paraphrase it basically. I just don't want to say what he said, but he said, "Is Jalen Hurts a product of the system, or basically is the dude legit? Pretty much. What do you read into that? I mean, I know this is media, but what do you read into this, man?
Um I don't take his comments disrespectful toward Hurts
Hmm.
whatsoever. I think it's just Parsons knowing the sport and what it takes to play in the NFL.
Hmm.
His question is he really an MVP material, or does he have everything going on his side right now?
Hmm.
He's just a part of it.
Hmm.
I don't take any disrespect out of it. I think he's just being 100% honest,
Hmm.
and that's the type of person he is. Is it going to bite us in the ass? I hope not,
Hmm.
because comments like that fire teams up,
Sure. Hmm.
especially when you have one of the best teams in the NFL coming to your house on
Hmm.
Christmas Eve.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Agree.
so I don't take any offense to it. I wouldn't even if I was Jalen Hurts.
Hmm.
And we know some of the linemen on the Eagles took offense to it, but
Hmm.
it is what it is.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. I don't read into it. To me, Matt, we're Cowboy fans. We say what we believe, and we back what we believe, man. We say it, we believe it, we honestly feel that way. So we're allowed to say whatever, pretty much what the hell we want. Just like you said, Parsons, man, he's a student of the game. Let's put it that way. He
Right.
understands the game. He plays the game to what he sees, what he expects out of himself. And you know what? In a way, man, just like I talked to you earlier, let's talk about this. Yes, I think Hurts is an elite quarterback. I really do. He's come a long way to where his first year with no identity under the Sirianni system. Now they
Right.
got the pieces, and he looks an MVP QB, potential
Right.
MVP QB. But my thing is this: I got into a little argument with a couple friends in a chat room, not our chat room, but different Cowboys chat room actually, and they were like, "Oh, you know what? Parsons is 100% correct. Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback." And I said, well, I think he is. He's a product of the system. Plus, he's a product of himself. I believe
Right.
it's both ways. You don't go from basic level to tier one status in one year. His
Right.
offseason, he worked his ass off. I'll give him the credit.
Yeah.
But
Yep,
then you
he
think
did.
about it. Then you think about it with Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, the top two MVP candidates this year. If you take Jalen Hurts with the weapons that Kansas City has, how does he perform? You bring Patrick Mahomes here, a magician with the ball, a magician with the weapons he has here, the running game he has here, the offensive line he has here, and the freaking defense they have here. Who has that better record? Is what I said. It can go both ways. It can bite me in my ass for my comments, but I look at it that way, Matt. You
Yeah.
know, you look at it that way. I'm not disregard anything Jalen Hurts year. He's having one hell of an MVP year. I give him the credit. But you look at the weapons, man. You look at this system here. It's built for the RPO. It's built for it.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this, I mean, yeah, they have weapons on the outside, but at the same time, Jalen Hurts is actually making plays that
Mm-hmm.
really got this team out of
Yeah.
hole sometimes, like against a couple teams that they should have never been in the hole against.
Mm-hmm.
I know they always come at the Cowboys for the teams we play and all, but Jalen Hurts has saved a couple of the games for that team.
Agree. Agree.
So I mean, I think both play part
Mm-hmm.
on that team. I think it's a system, but at the same time, I think it's Jalen Hurts that he put in the work and he's really busting his ass to make sure his team wins every single game.
I agree with it. I mean, he puts the game on his back in many games
Yeah,
there, Matt. Yes, he can beat you with his legs, but listen, man, I'm not going to take away his elite status right now because he's making some dime throws out there. I mean,
yeah,
you look at the sprint, the passes on a go route to AJ Brown. It's not behind him. It's not on the left. It's not on the right. It's leading your receiver to the end zone,
it's right on the
and that
money.
that takes a lot for a quarterback. I mean, timing, the camaraderie between receivers, and he's on the point, man. He's on the point where everybody talked about he underthrows balls. He's not that great out of the pocket. He can do this. His balls are low. Look at how everybody referred to Donovan McNabb back in the day. You know, but
Right,
that's a perfect example right there. Well, my man got you to what, 3 NFC championships with no receivers.
right,
So I mean he's not MVP to me, but my man did his job. You know what I mean, and that's what Hurts is doing. He's doing his job, but he's taking that doing the job to another damn level.
right.
So I don't feed into Micah Parsons' comments. I really don't because, listen, man, I don't care, Matt. You know what? I can say something about you. You can say something about me. But my thing is like, Matt, when we come on the show, we're real.
Right.
What we do on this show is what we stand for. You do your business on a show. He does his business on a field. So I don't give a damn what the hell you say on podcasts. I don't care what the hell you say to Skip
Yeah, back
Bayless.
the shit up.
You back your shit up. What you do, you back your comments up on a in the game. And you know
Right.
what? Just like you said, the Eagles offensive lineman, they're to say like, Jalen, let us know where what we need to do. That they already Michael's already fired them up.
Yep.
So if that's me, I'm saying if I'm in the locker room, I'm saying, yo, boys, listen, yo, D, here it is. They are fired up for this game. They're going to run all over us, is what they're saying on this offensive line. Now it's time. Now it's time. Take this to another level because, man, I get scared, man, when we play the Eagles. If it comes down to a one buy-in game against the Eagles, even with the record of 16-0 versus 0-16 with the Eagles, and we could be 16-0, I'm scared to death playing the Eagles, man, because they got that underdog mentality. It's us
Yep.
against the world pretty much. We don't have that, man. Look at last year with the 49ers, Matt. All momentum going in, and what the fuck happened after that? It was just,
Yep. Shit the
wow.
bed.
Exactly. But, before we get out of here, Matt, how about we talk about some final predictions, man? I mean, Dave, I didn't get Dave because Dave, listen, if you're listening out there, man, we miss you. You're at a wedding tonight. Hope you're having fun out there. Don't drink too much, and put on the website what your prediction is for tomorrow. So we'll talk to you on that one. But Matt, what do you got for final predictions here?
I think it's going to be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to come down to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still going to be a high-scoring game. You have two offenses that can go off.
True.
I think it's going to come down to the Maher field goal, 34-31.
Wow. Okay. All right. So high scoring with a little, last minute game winning heroic here, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to go pretty much exactly what you said. I think it's going to be probably maybe a 3 to 5 point game. I know I said earlier, now that I think about it, with what we have here, we still have the unknown of Tyron Smith, the right tackle, the unknown of Kelvin Joseph, and then thinking about it with the three-headed monster they had a wide receiver. So I'm probably going to go, I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to go 31-27 Cowboys. I think it's going to come down to that late drive, or if we go up, it's either going to come down to them scoring it, but I think we hold them to a field goal, and then they try to get the ball back on us, and we run the clock out. I think that's going to come down to it. Yeah, so I'm going to go 31-27 Cowboys.
Okay. So we got pretty much the same. Close.
Yeah,
close
yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's two high-powered offenses, and to me, it's like more of an NFC East game because you got Peterson's in a way. You got Coach Peterson out there, so it gives me that thought of a old smash mouth. Put up points, stay with each other during the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I got that kind of feeling. But Matt, before we get out of here, you want to go first on final thoughts, real quick?
Prove me wrong.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. Clean up the shit.
Exactly.
Play four quarters of a game. I mean, let's get this shit rolling. We need kicking in a notch. I mean, we're coming up to, we could clinch a playoff berth, this weekend. But let's not overlook Jacksonville. Let's clean the shit up. Let's take care of business and not look past them.
100%. I mean, to us, it's game by game, week by week. I don't care about clinching right now. I just want to beat who's in front of us. And my final thoughts is exactly that also. And don't play down to your team you're playing this week, man. You've already learned it with the Colts. You've already learned it with the Texans last week, regardless of record or whatever their team is. We've already seen that. Play up to every team being, that number one seed that you're playing against every week. Go out. This game to me is a get-right game where we need to see how Tyron Smith's going to be at right tackle. We need to see how Kelvin Joseph is going to, hopefully, step up on defense because, listen, Doug Peterson's smart, man. He's going to move Christian Kirk. He's going to move Zay Jones. He's going to move, everybody around. He's going to move them around, and he's going to pick on you. He ain't stupid. He's going to pick on you. And the other thing is we know Trevor Lawrence can get out of the pocket too. So we've got to maintain that. And what better way to see him run, learn from that, because next week, man, you got that big-headed guy named Jalen Hurts out there running the damn ball, and we know what he can do as well. So to me, this is a get-right game. Get up early. Hopefully go up like 16, 17, a three-score game going into the fourth. Then maybe you can possibly pull out them starters because you want to go into, Christmas Eve healthy, of course. So, and last of always, man, prove me wrong, brother. Prove me wrong. Let's get it. Let's get it going. Yep.
Do this.
Yep. Real quick, our last comment. Penman Sports, I appreciate you. Penman, we follow each other on Twitter. He does a great show out there in Pittsburgh area with all the Steelers, Penguins out there, Pirates as well. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I'll check out your show this week. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But, Matt, listen, man, before we get out of here, we're just going to pay a little homage to our sponsors out there before we get out of here, and we'll wrap up the show in 1 minute. So, guys, we'll be right back in 1 minute here after we view all our sponsors. So. All right, gentlemen, please, thank you. Out there, we actually always subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter channels. We always got something going on. Next week, we will having a out-of-the-box sort of Christmas party here live next week, next Thursday. All the hosts will be on here talking about holiday times, their shows, of course. Have a little fun, a little bullshit going on because it's on next Thursday, and next week we got this game against the green team. So I think it'll be a little bit of fun out there. Hopefully we got more people on our side than these, Schuylkill River water drinkers, but it's all for fun. So that's why we always ask you to please check out our website as well. So for all show notifications too. Before we get out of here, I want to wish one person good luck next month. Trayshawn Wiggins, we had him on the Fight Club before. He is going down to Florida to face the number 8th ranked boxer in the world. He's ranked 10th, so hopefully, he wins this fight. We're all rooting for you, brother. Trayshawn Wiggins, only one trigger Trey on Twitter. Check him out. Hopefully, he wins this fight to boost that ranking up there, so we can have him back on the show, talk about his venture down there, his ass whooping down there. And good luck, brother. We appreciate you.
Go get him. Go get him.
All Out of Sports is rooting for you, brother. We got your back, man, here at Out of Sports, brother. So, Matt, listen, man, it's been a Saturday night show, something we usually don't do. Kind of weird. Usually we're about to head to bed after this one here, but it's only 6 o'clock, but it's Saturday night. It's time to, watch some football, hang out with the family.
Which you do have to change. You still have a 9:30 p.m. for us on Wednesdays.
Yes, exactly. See, that's why, Matt, that's why I love having you on. Sure, you're the smart one in the family here. Listen, the 215 Boys are usually on Wednesday nights at 9:30. We are actually, since we've been eliminated from football, not the Cowboys. Our little league football team has been eliminated from potential playoff spots here. So we are going to be going to 6 p.m. or 6:30. 6:30 every Wednesday. Check us out. We'll keep it real. And what better way to start next week after we talk about our win against the Jags, and we'll get you headed into those Eagles-Cowboys Christmas Eve games. So for myself, of course, my man, Matt Klein, the T.O.P. himself, and for Cowboy Dave, who's at a wedding right now, we will see you next Wednesday night at 6:30. Cowboy Nation, we'll see you then. Have a great weekend.
Go Boys.
Go Boys.